Hello, my little seashells, and welcome back to my channel. Now, a couple things. First off, this is a soft spoken video, and I normally don't do this because I don't think I'm very good at them, but it was requested that I do a soft spoken video and more of them. So if you guys do enjoy these, be sure to like the video so I know, and you guys can also leave a comment letting me know. I love you all so much, and you mean so much to me, so it's important to me that you all feel beautiful. So that's just a little, I don't know, stuff to get out of the way. But as you can see from the title, I'm going to be telling you guys about my favorite Netflix TV shows. This was requested, and I thought it was a pretty good idea because I always love hearing new Netflix shows. I mean, I'm so busy as it is, so I don't have a ton of time to watch new ones, but somehow I still manage to always start a new one. So yeah, I wrote down a little list on the back of some stickers. So let's get started. Now, first off, we have my infamous favorite Netflix show. If you are an avid seashell, you would know that this is my favorite. Any guesses? Yep, it is Pretty Little Liars. I actually have Pretty Little Liars playing in my room right now. If ever I'm at home alone and I'm filming or doing work or whatever, I like to always have Netflix on because it just makes me feel, I don't know, more comfortable and safe. I know it's not great in terms of electricity usage, however I do like to feel safe. Whatever makes me feel comfortable, you know. So I always have Pretty Little Liars playing. I've probably watched it over 20 times without exaggeration. Like, it is always playing, and my favorite season is season 4, especially the episode where all the girls go to Ravenswood and they're like in the cemetery and stuff, and they're in the creepy mansion. That's my favorite episode of all time. But yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone knows Pretty Little Liars. Like, it's really popular, so I'm not going to give too much explanation as to kind of what it is, because I feel like everyone knows. But I also did a Pretty Little Liars series on my channel, so I did role plays in each of the characters. I did Allie, obviously, Spencer, Hannah, Aria, Emily, and I'm pretty sure I did Mona too. So yeah, if you love Pretty Little Liars, be sure to go check out that series on my channel. I think you'll really enjoy it. Then we have Friends. Now, unfortunately, on Canada Netflix, they took off Friends at the end of 2020. I'm not sure if US Netflix still has Friends, but if you do, you're so lucky. I actually watched Friends for the first time, first year university, and I fell in love. I feel like I really connect with Rachel. I really like, obviously, Jennifer Aniston, but Rachel, her character in the show. But I was really upset when they took it off Netflix because it's also a really great comfort show. Pretty Little Liars is a little bit more dark and a little bit more ominous, I guess you could say, whereas Friends is really happy and stuff. So I used to like having Friends on in the background while I studied, but they took it off, so maybe that's why I'm failing my class. Okay, next up we have Gossip Girl. Now, Gossip Girl, of course, again, another classic. Again, I feel like everyone knows Gossip Girl, like Pretty Little Liars, Friends, Gossip Girl. Those are all really famous ones. I used to be obsessed with Gossip Girl the first time I watched it. Like, I wanted to be exactly like Blair, Blair Waldorf, of course. I was never the biggest fan of Serena. I love Blake Lively, but Serena's character was never a huge fan of. But I loved Blair. I thought she was so queen bee, so badass. Like, I just loved her so much. Still do, obviously. And her and Chuck are endgame, even though their relationship is kind of toxic, but they definitely held the show together. And I think it was a little bit disappointing that am I just forgetting? Well, it's not Peyton List. That's obviously not her name. What's her name? I'm completely blanking on Blair's actual name, like not her character name. The actress, it's on the tip of my tongue. Like, I literally just watched a bunch of news videos on it. But anyways, I think it's really unfortunate that she didn't get more famous like Blake Lively did. Like, Blake Lively was in a ton of movies and stuff like that, where she wasn't really. And I think it's disappointing, A, because she had a really tough upbringing. Like, that's what I learned. And also, B, she really held that show together. Like, I was not watching Gossip Girl for Serena or Nate or Dan. I was watching that show for Chuck and Blair only. So I always recommend Gossip Girl. And it was one of those shows that I was never like wanting to watch. Like, my mom was always like, oh, you have to watch Gossip Girl, like, it's so good. And I was like, I don't know. And then I finally watched it, and I think I watched all of it in like 3 days, which is pretty crazy because there's like 5 or 6 seasons. Like, I watched it all in 3 days. I stayed up every single night, and it was a very bad idea because I remember I was in like maybe grade 11 or grade 10 at the time, and I had like tests and stuff to do, and I was obsessed. Like, I just couldn't stop watching it. I mean, I did okay because I'm in university, obviously, but bad idea. Never start a Netflix show when you have exams coming up or midterms or tests. Never do that. It's a bad idea. Okay, next up we have, oh, little side note, I did do a Blair Waldorf roleplay, so you can go and watch that if you want. Next up we have Trinkets. Now, this is a more low-key Netflix show. It's about 3 friends, and they have like a stealing addiction. Like, they go into stores and steal, you know what I mean? And it's really interesting. It's a really great show about like friendship and loyalty. I really like it. They actually just came out with the 2nd season. So I think if you like shows that are about like shopping or, I don't know, kind of stealing, like Hannah Marin from Pretty Little Liars, and just friendship overall, I think you'll like it. And it's the girls that are in it are in high school, so it's like high school type of show, you know. Okay, then we have Lock and Key, and this is a Netflix show that I watched in a day because there aren't many episodes. I think there's only like 10, but Lock and Key was a great show. I really liked it, even though it was, I don't know, I feel like it might have been marketed towards more younger like kids. Like, I'm 19, but I still loved that show. I enjoyed it. Like, I watched it all in one day. But it's basically where this family moves into like this really old mansion, like this huge old mansion, which is so cool. Like, I think it would be so cool to live in a mansion like that and have all these hidden doors and like passageways and stuff. And they have all these like acres and acres of forest and land. They have a cemetery. It's crazy. So first of all, I just love the aesthetic of the show because the big mansion and everything. But they end up finding like these keys which have magic powers type of thing, and they lead to different realms and stuff, and it's really, really cool. So if you're into like magic but more lighthearted magic, like I said, I think it was marketed towards a younger audience because it's not very like violent or intimate or anything. It's just like a great show as it is. It doesn't need any of that stuff, but it's really, really good. And they are coming out with the 2nd season, which I'm super excited about. So yeah, I did really love that show. And there also is a little bit of love in there. Like, the young girl, she's in high school. well, I guess she's not young, but you know what I mean, like a teenage girl. She's in high school, and she like dates like a couple guys type of thing. Like, I don't know. It's a really good show, but for me, when I watch a show, like, there almost always needs to be like a love story in it. Like, that's just kind of what keeps me hooked, because I want to see if the characters end up together and if they work out and stuff like that. But that's just me. I know that some people don't need that, but for most shows I watch, I really do love having a love story intertwined with it. So yeah. Okay, next up, also in the magic category, we have Cursed. Now, this is a show with, well, a series with Catherine Langford from 13 Reasons Why. I didn't mention 13 Reasons Why on this list because I feel like everyone knows it, and it's also a show that I think there was 3 seasons. I ended up not watching the 3rd season because the 2nd one was just a little bit too much for me. So yeah, I didn't watch the 3rd one, so it's not on my list, but Cursed, I really like that, and I think it really showed that Catherine Langford, like, she wasn't just Hannah Baker, you know what I mean? So that one's a great one. It's also set back, well, I'm terrible with time. I don't know, like when there was like Vikings and stuff, and like big ships, I don't know, like castles, that type of stuff, like queens and kings and castles. I don't know what era that was. That probably sounds so stupid, but I don't know when that was, like 1600s, 1700s, I don't know. So it's set back in that time with like the kings and queens and castles and the villagers and all that. And she has magical powers and she needs to find Merlin, so it's like a lot of wizardry and witches and stuff like that. It's a really, really great show, and there is also a love story. There's actually kind of like 2 love stories intertwined in that one as well. So if you love the magic stuff or the stuff set way back in those times, like with the kings and queens and villagers and all that type of stuff, I think you'll really like that one. And it's also very adventurous. Okay, next up, again in that category, we have The Witcher. Now, The Witcher is also a really, really great show, but it is more mature, so there is more violence in it, more intimate scenes, so I think it's definitely probably rated R, but it is a really great show. Again, set way back in that same kind of era, and there's like a girl and she has magical powers, but she's like kind of like deformed type of thing, but anyways, and there's this like witcher who kills bad guys, and then anyways, so there's a whole love story intertwined with it all, which is really cool too, but it's also like really badass, and there's like lots of, you know, like fighting and killing of demons and evil powers and stuff like that. So again, a really great show, but I would say Cursed is more like teenager and Witcher is more like a little bit older. I mean, I'm a teenager, but you know what I mean? Like, it's really violent. There are some intimate scenes. Like, it is a rated R show. Okay, next up, we have You, which I feel like is also really famous. And then you got Dan from Gossip Girl is in it. I forget his name. I think it's Bradley, something Bradley. I don't know. I'm terrible with actors and actresses' names. Like, I always forget and whatnot, but that's also a really great show. I think they're coming out with how many seasons are there? 3 now? 4? 3, 4? I think there's 3. But that's a really great show. It's about this creepy stalker guy who like falls in love with this girl, and then like, I don't know, he also like kills a bunch of people. It's like really interesting. It's a very addicting show. Like, again, I feel like that's one of the more famous ones, along with Pretty Little Liars, Gossip Girl and stuff. Like, I feel like everyone heard about You. There's so many memes about it and stuff. My one friend, whenever she wears like a hat and a hoodie, I always say that she looks like the guy from You, because she looks like so like stalkerish or whatever, like sketchy. So, yeah, I feel like that's just one. Like, there's a ton of memes about, like, everyone, like, knows that show. Then you've got, I put a couple light-hearted ones on here. You got Family Guy and Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Those are both really funny ones. When I was doing my A&W mukbang, I was actually watching Family Guy. That one always just cheers me up. My favorite character is Stewie and Brian. I love them. I love them as a pair. So Family Guy's a great show. It's pretty crude though, so there's lots of jokes referring to, like, you know, intimate stuff, and there's like kind of like some, you know, like gory, like it's animated, but you know, like that type of stuff. My mom doesn't like Family Guy. She's not a fan, but I like it. And then Brooklyn Nine-Nine is a show about like cops, and it's really, really funny. It's one of my favorites. I think I started watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine before I started watching Family Guy, but it's again a really funny show, and it doesn't have any of the laughter over top of it. Like Friends has the overlaid laughter, whereas Brooklyn Nine-Nine doesn't, and it doesn't even need it because it's so hilarious. So Brooklyn Nine-Nine is also a great one, and my favorite character in Brooklyn Nine-Nine is Captain Holt. Okay, now we've got some other like more famous ones. We've got Stranger Things. Again, I feel like everyone knows Stranger Things, but if you haven't watched it and you've heard of it like 1,000 times but you still haven't watched it, you're hearing about it for good reason. It's a great show, so I would definitely recommend Stranger Things. And then Riverdale. Riverdale is one of those shows that is like completely off the rails. Like, I have no clue what the creators were thinking. Like, there are 8 different storylines and plots in each episode. Like, it's completely ridiculous. It's just chaos. It's absolute chaos, but it's addicting. Like, and the acting in it too, like, they're great actors themselves, but just the actual acting in it, like, isn't great just because of what they say. Like, the one kid, like, there's that scene going around on TikTok right now where the guy's like, oh, like, I was in like foster care and stuff, like, as a kid, and then Archie's like, then you don't know the epic highs and lows of high school football. And people are like, what? Like, you really just compared like foster care right now to like high school? Like what are you saying? So there's like really bad writing in it, but it's so addicting still. Like, the new episodes come out every Thursday, and yesterday was Thursday, so I'm actually gonna watch the episode today. But like, I don't know, it's like I watch it and I'm like, why do I spend my time watching this? But I just can't stop. Like, I have to watch it. So definitely Riverdale. But Riverdale's one you have to watch because, like I said, there are so many different things happening in that show. Like, if you like this new season, it's like set 5 years ahead, which I think is better for them because they needed to abandon some of those storylines. But like, gosh, for like a while there, it was so hard to keep up. There was like cults in it, there were murderers, there was yeah, cults, murderers, like just so much random weird stuff that it's like I can't even keep up with what's happening right now. So yeah, there's that one. And then there's also Emily in Paris. Emily in Paris, I just like watching for the aesthetic. Something that I watched recently was a YouTube video critiquing her like Instagram likes type of thing. It might have actually been a TikTok, but it was like she posts a picture because she has an Instagram account and she ends up getting like over 20,000 followers or something. But it's like she's posting pictures of like random stuff, like her eating a croissant or something, and she gains like 200 followers, and people are like, how? Like, that just doesn't happen. Which is like so true. Like, that doesn't happen. Like, I post on my Instagram, like I try and post twice a week, and I lose followers like every day. Like, I don't know what it is, but like, I mean, I obviously do gain some, but I do lose a lot, which it's just funny because it's so unrealistic that like you can just post like a random picture of like a fountain or like you eating a croissant and gain like 200, 300 followers. Like, it's just funny. but I just love the aesthetic of the show. There's also like some love stories in it, and I love that she's like in marketing. Like, I know it's obviously very unrealistic marketing and stuff, but I still really liked it. Okay, next we have Tiny Pretty Things. So Tiny Pretty Things is a newer show on Netflix. It is about like ballerinas, like a dance academy. And I finished the show in a couple days. It was okay. It wasn't necessarily my favorite. They are coming out with a second season, which I am gonna watch. But it's basically like a ballet mystery because like one of the dancers is like falls off the roof, and it's like, did she fall, was she pushed, type of thing, who did it. So there's like, it's like a mystery kind of, and almost reminds me a little bit of Pretty Little Liars. There's also some love stories in there, and there's just a lot of ballet, obviously, because it is a ballet show. And I also like that the main character, like I think that's what you'd call it, like the main character, is a black actress. Like, I really like that they did that, because I don't know, I think that it's important to give, you know, like people of color like prominent roles in films and TV shows, and I like that they finally did that, especially in a ballet show, because there's so much discrimination in dance and ballet, at least like years and years ago. I mean, even recently they only made like neutral colored like ballet shoes that can like match like other people's skin tones, do you know what I mean? So yeah, there's just like stuff like that. So I really like that they had that actress play the main character. But yeah, like some of the acting in that show is a little bit bad too, but it's still like a good show. Like, I'll watch the second season, and it definitely is way more intimate than I thought. Like, there was a scene, like the first scene where like they're kissing and stuff. I was like, okay, like love, we love this. And then it like got like real intimate, and I was like, I was not expecting that. Like it's just not a show you would watch with your parents, let's just say that. Like, I was immediately like, whoa, I was not expecting that. Okay, next up we have a show I want to watch, which is Bridgerton. Everyone's been obsessing about Bridgerton, and I know I want to watch it like so bad, but I'm just holding off because I know it's gonna be one of those shows where I watch in a day and I just spend the whole day watching, and I have like 3 projects coming up next week, so I just have been pushing it off until I have like a day where it's like, okay, I can just watch this. So I'm self-disciplining so I can watch that, but I really want to. I'm so excited. Okay, next up we have Black Mirror. Black Mirror is a really good show too. It's very intense. Again, I'm pretty sure it's like rated R. It talks about a lot of like serious topics, and it's kind of a show that's like set in the future, like different realities of like the future type of thing, which is really cool and interesting. So it's like there's different like social media things, or like one of the episodes is like everyone's based on like their rankings. Like, you can see like they're like it would, I don't know, like Instagram ranking type of thing. So it's like depends like how many followers and like likes you have, that you get into certain places, or that you can get into certain restaurants and all of that stuff. So it's, Black Mirror is a really good show, and it's one that makes you really think. And Black Mirror is a show that, like, if I want to watch it, I know it's going to be intense. Like, I can't watch it before bed because I'll probably have nightmares. But like, that's just me. It's just like a really intense show for me, but it's still really good. Like, I still like it. Then you've got Animal Kingdom. Animal Kingdom is one that I recently watched and finished, and it's really good. It's about like a group of brothers who steal stuff. I guess if you like Trinkets, it's like a way more intense version of Trinkets, but they steal from like big places, like I don't know, like car dealerships, and like they steal like art statues, like they steal huge stuff. And it's really interesting because like they go about the whole process of how they do things and stuff. So it's really like interesting to see like how they pull off the heists. It's really good. There's also some love stories intertwined in that, but it's also really intense. Like there's like some murder and like intimate stuff as well. So again, I think that's a show that's like rated R, and there's also like substance abuse and stuff like that. So that is like, again, like a more intense show. Next we have Snowpiercer, which is one that is still coming out. Like there are new episodes every week. Snowpiercer is also very intense. It's set way in the future, like after we've destroyed the planet from like global warming and like, you know, climate crisis. And so the earth is like in permafrost, like it's permanently frozen, and these people are on a train because the train has to constantly move, otherwise it'll freeze. So they're on a train. It's like very there's very distinct classes, like the rich, and then there's the poor who like eat nothing and like they're treated like crap. And then anyways, there's like some love stories intertwined in it, and there's like a battle for like classes and like democracy and all that type of stuff. So that one's a really good show, but it's also very intense. It's very graphic. Like the fight scenes are very bloody. It kind of reminds me of like The 100, if you've seen that show. I couldn't finish watching that show at a certain point. It just got way too gory for me. And Snowpiercer is almost there, but it still has a really good storyline, so I'm still following it. But it is very like still graphic. Like, I wouldn't say intimate graphic, like with love scenes, but it's very like the battles are like battles, like they're fights. But it's still a really good show, especially if you're into that like fast forward, like future type of shows, like Black Mirror and like what the future could be type of thing. I think you'd like it. Okay, next up we've got a show that I'm currently watching, which is Queen's Gambit. I try and only watch one episode a night. I try and refrain myself. And I think I'm on like episode 4 right now, and there's 7 episodes. But it's a really good show. It's about this young girl who's like a chess prodigy, and it's just kind of going through her life of like winning all these chess tournaments, and she's like super talented and stuff. But since she was an orphan, like they used to give these like tranquilizer pills to orphans, and then she becomes addicted to them. And I don't know, it's a really, really good show. And it's also it's one that gets me like pumped up, because I'm like, oh my god, I want her to win the chess match like so bad, which is a sentence I never thought I would say in my life. Like, oh my gosh, watching chess is like so like intriguing or something, because I have absolutely no clue like how to play chess, like no clue at all. And I'm learning chess from the show. I mean, not really, but it's just like they do a lot of chess terms and stuff like that. So watching the show kind of makes me want to learn chess, because it now like seems so cool, and like holy crap, like it's such like a smart game. Like I knew it was that like smart before, but I mean, I just didn't realize how like smart you had to be to like understand chess and be really good at chess. And now I'm like, oh, like I want to be like that, but I can barely win a game of checkers, so there's really no hope for me. But still, it's a great show, and if you love chess, I think you'd love the show. Even if you don't love chess like me or had no clue really about it, you'd probably love the show. Okay, next up, I think I actually mentioned all of them except for the last one, which is Outer Banks. Outer Banks is a show that became widely popular during the peak of like lockdown. I mean, we're still in lockdown, but you know what I mean, during that time where like everyone was obsessing over Netflix shows in lockdown, I guess. I mean, it's kind of like Bridgerton, you know, like everyone, that peaked, everyone was obsessed with that. That was what happened with Outer Banks. It peaked, everyone was obsessed. But it's a really good show. It's about like treasure hunting. Like this group of friends are like trying to find this like treasure, like it's like $4 million worth of gold or something, and they're trying to find it. And there's also some love stories intertwined with it. And it's just a really great show about like friendship and the hardships that like kind of like these lower class kids are going through. and it's also just a great like adventure show. Like you want them to find the treasure and stuff. I will say that the ending of the final episode to the season was like very unrealistic for me. Like it was a bit too much. I was like, okay, like that would not happen, but okay. So that was the only thing that kind of bugged me a little bit. But what I do like is that the main actor and actress in the show, they're actually dating in real life, at least last I heard of. So I love when that happens. I don't know, it just makes the love story more real because they're actually dating in real life, not just in the show. So yeah, but I think those were all of my top picks. I mean, I'll give you a quick list rundown again. We've got Pretty Little Liars, Friends, Gossip Girl, Trinkets, Lock and Key, Cursed, The Witcher, You, Family Guy, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Black Mirror, Queen's Gambit, Riverdale, Stranger Things, Animal Kingdom, Bridgerton, Tiny Pretty Things, Outer Banks, Snowpiercer, and Emily in Paris. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this soft-spoken video, just chatting about my favorite Netflix shows. I never do soft-spoken videos, so I hope you guys liked it. And yeah, if you have seen any of these shows or anything, like let me know what you think of them as well. But I love you all so much, my seashells, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.